party continued their travel through the vast desert landscape of Titan. After weathering the extreme heat of one of the days, you found, you obviously, session before, defeated some scorpion people, slept through the day, and in that night you found a strange obelisk, stood 20 feet from the ground. As you touched it, it seemed to show you almost like a memory of a very different time in this land. The memory was of a bustling city street of old, whereupon a group of half-snake humanoids strode through the city streets in a procession and dragged behind them a slave they were trying to sacrifice to something or someone called Murshulk. The people seemed to be scared of this religious procession and were on hands and knees, not talking or even looking at them. But one unlucky resident got caught sneaking a peek at these people, and they too were taken to be sacrificed. After this, the party saw in the far distance a sandstorm, but not any normal sandstorm. Lightning cracked and struck within, creating a horrifying wall of lightning and sand before them. After some slick investigation, the party managed to find a couple of places to potentially wait out a storm, decided upon an old cave that could have once been an old ruin, but has been weathered and crumbled in its time. Within the cave, they saw scratchings of an elf, and when Hedge delved further into the cave, he heard a whispered voice calling him deeper to set something free. As the whole party delved deeper, you all found a gated-off area which was a large crumbling room with an old lamp at its center. After much debate, you all decided to leave the lamp, except Hedge, who, of course, shot it, removing the lid and releasing the creature inside. The creature inside was a tall, red-skinned, otherworldly creature of vast wealth and stature, an efreeti named Ignatus. He offered you a choice: 200 years of service in the elemental plane of fire to help construct the ever-growing city of brass, after which he would give you a wish and treasures aplenty, or he would force you into this deal. So it wasn't really a deal at all. Very quickly, a fight broke out, and that is where we begin today's session.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Sorry. Absolutely. Beats, you are up first. In this encounter so far, this efreeti Ignatus has summoned a fire elemental that's gone and chased Hedge, and has used this large flail with a head of the flail as a skull that's on fire. And he's been swinging that around and whacking people. This is a legendary creature. It has legendary actions. And behind this gate here, is several treasures, many treasures, some fancy armor, a fancy bow, several different things, urns of overflowing with gold. We'll see how you get on. So, Beats, what would you like to do?
Oh wait, I think I planned this last time. 5, 10, 15. 5, 10, 15. 5, 10, 15. Okay. I would like to move here.
Alrighty.
From here. And then cast Thunder Wave.
Thunder Wave, alrighty.
Just click on it.
Constitution saving throw. I don't know what the DC is. Should be at the top of your the spell casting bit.
The top of it.
Yeah.
DC 14.
DC 14. All right. Let's see if he can make a DC 14 save. He can't. I don't think. No, he can't. So he takes the full damage. So roll 2d8.
This is in both of them, isn't it? Because it's 15 foot sheet around me.
No, so 15 feet. Thunderwave is a bit weird. So Thunderwave, because I think you're thinking about how I used to think of it. Thunderwave actually works like it creates like that in front of you. So the area there in front of you would be the Thunderwave.
Oh, I thought it says from me.
Yeah, so from one of the faces of the cube facing you, I'm pushing forward. I used to think exactly. thing. So you could, for example, do it like that, so it would hit him, like that,
Okay.
which would hit him, or the other way, which would hit the fire elemental, but sadly not both.
Oh, I wanna. Oh, I'll hit the fire elemental.
Hit the fire elemental. Well, I'll stick with what I rolled in the dice, which means it fails. So roll me 2d8 damage, and it gets pushed 10 feet away from you, which actually, oh, nice. So 11 damage. And then because roll me an extra d6, because it gets essentially pushed into a wall. There's a bit of bludgeoning damage from it just being...
It's a very soft wall.
It's a very, very soft wall. You can see as it kind of makes sense as it, thunder wave just echoes throughout this, and you can see all the like dust and stone crumbling from above. This fire elemental is pushed back into the wall, but almost like evaporates into this like well of fire, and then just reforms itself back in as if it's skillfully pulling itself through. But it does take the 12 damage. That's nice. Anything else in your turn, Beats? Bonus action, any more movement, anything like that?
I think I'm in a. Oh wait. I think I'm in a good spot, so I won't move.
Okie dokie. Next up is Ayla. Ayla is peeing.
Ayla or Chantal?
I didn't know if she was that afraid of gin people.
Ben, you doing that back and forth initiative thing?
Oh, yes, of course I am. I completely forgot about it. Thank you very much. Actually, so next up is Efreeti Man. Ignatus. And Ignatus is going to move 5, 10, and he's got 2 whacks, so he's going to try and whack Ada first. That's a natural 1. And then it's going to try and whack Garva. I remember the names of my players. And Garva, that is a 17 to hit.
Oh, that's my armor class bang on.
Armor class bang on. That is a very, very sad. So it deals...
You don't sound very sad.
I don't. So deals... Yeah. That's mucho dice. Okay, so 1 on the... So that's 6 bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
And 13 fire damage.
Oh, silly Samuel. How much fire damage?
13 fire damage.
Okay.
I'm getting the damage numbers right, aren't I? Because I realised I didn't actually have the stat block up. Yeah, I am getting these damage numbers right. Okay, cool. Sweet. Next up then would be Ayla, and Ayla is, of course, going to be taking a swing at this thing. Which I guess is a bonus action. Move this thing 5, 10, 15. Wait, 5, 10, 15, 20. Can only move it there. But she'll take a swing, so I'll just roll on Ayla's sheet. Because why not? Makes it easy. Oh no, Ayla has arrived, apparently. Hello. Would you like to whack a thing? Bloody-tastic.
I believe the correct technical term is slap a bitch.
And you are correct, to be fair. The man isn't wrong. Why has Roll 20 been so slow? Why can't things just be perfectly quick? Yeah, would you like to slap a bitch? Oh, 22 definitely hits. Le damage. Yes, that's 2 handles. That's 14 bludgeoning damage. Which is 3. And you get, obviously, another attack. I've used the movement of your thing to move it like closer to it. Oh, you actually technically do have advantage on these, which is good because a 15 wouldn't have hit, but 27 does. And the damage, 9. Mark a little bit of damage. 9. Yeah, so Ayla just runs up to this thing and just gives him like 2 massive whacks. The first one, like, he tries to block it, but it comes down on his wrists, and the second one just straight into the gut of this large efreeti dude. But he is going to use one of his legendary actions to spin around and make... Ayla's been more of a nuisance, so I think he's going to go... No, actually, no. He's going to use his legendary action to just sort of condense himself into fire, just like disappears. And then appears... 30. Over there. Just emerges way back over here. Next up would be Mr. Fire Elemental. And Fire Elemental Hedge, you were 10 feet up the corridor, weren't you?
It was basically next to me, yeah. It
Okay.
already tried to attack me once, we said.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of just treating it like I'm there.
Oh, like where you are on the map?
Yeah, I mean, you know, rather than having me basically be off the map.
Okay.
Because I thought there was a
fine.
long corridor that I could be down.
Yeah,
But-
there is a long... But yeah, that's why I was under the impression that you'd moved like 10 feet up that long corridor.
Ben, I can't fully remember if he did it last time, but does he make concentration saves for his fire element or no?
Oh, he does. Well remembered, Samuel. Well remembered, indeed. I'll roll those up in a second. I'm just getting something sorted because the internet's stupid. Okay, there we go. So concentration. That one's pass. Well remembered, Sam. Indeed. Legendary resistance. Keeping it up.
Dick.
Thank you.
Good use of resistance.
The first one has the first one rolled an 18. The next one rolled a 1. But yeah,
Nice.
legendary resistance. Legendary resistance, Ryan, for you to know, is that if a monster, a legendary creature, fails a saving throw, it just decides to pass. It can only do this 3 times though. 3 times per day, I think. So you've wasted 1 essentially. Yeah, useful to waste those. Cool. So Fire Elemental is still up. Next up, yeah, like I said, would be the Fire Elemental. It's going to try and roll to hit Hedge. Hedge, I'm guessing a 9 doesn't hit.
No.
It has multi-attack. A 13?
Doesn't.
No. Yeah, so this thing just swirls around and tries to hit you both times. The first time swinging wildly above your head, and then the second time it's like you manage to duck, like popping your head down into your thing, and then next time jumping backwards. Managing
He can keep this fire elemental up. It's rubbish.
Next up would be you, Hedge.
Okay. So where are we saying I am?
That is up to you. You can either be there, or you can be 10 feet down the thing. I can't remember what we said last time, so I'll leave it up to you.
I'll say there. It's just simpler, and then I'll be in the room.
Cool.
Bonus action, disengage, and then I go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Wait, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet to there. I'm going to take 2 shots. First one will be...
Just as a point, because I'm not sure if you thinked it, and I'm not sure if it's very clear on this map either. See this rock you're right in front of here? That's actually like a big boulder in front of you. It's like 3 feet tall.
Okay.
But to move over it or through it would be difficult terrain because it's...
No, I can get there, go around it through this square.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you now have half cover as well.
Okay,
So
cool.
good.
Yeah, I'm going to take 2 shots. First one's going to be marksman, so -5 + 10. So that's a 17 to hit.
17. Does a 17
On...
Yes, just hits, yes.
Okay. So +10 to this. And I believe my hunter's mark is on him as well.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 piercing, 6 hunter's mark, and plus 10, so 22.
22 damage. Holy crap.
And then regular shot on the second shot.
12 sadly doesn't hit. Sadly doesn't hit. As you pull back this first shot again, a perfect dead eye. Managed to sort of fire this bolt off, and you can see just scars way above his head, leaving this like black, almost like glowing blood dripping face. But in the second shot, sadly, you try and just get a second one in too fast, and it completely misses. Nicely done. He would like to use another legendary action, methinks. Go. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, there. Envelops himself on fire again.
Big mistake.
Flail swinging around. Cool, so that's 2 legendary actions down. Next up would be Garva. Garva, what you got for us?
I'm gonna slam a guiding bolt this boy's way.
Which boy? The efreeti boy or the...
Efreeti, yeah. Please be good.
Did you make a
16
contract?
doesn't hit, does it?
Boy,
Oh, no, he didn't make a... I'm terrible with these contracts.
you're in bonking range, boy.
Sadly, the first... Yeah, that one passes. 18 overall. Guiding bolt 16 misses, sadly. Just misses. Just flies around between and like cracks against the wall, causing this like spider web of cracks to merge up it. Anything else?
Yeah, bonus action. I'm gonna fire off an like we'll call it a space arrow, a star arrow. There we go. That's a bit more elegant.
Star arrow.
I think that's 19. I think I have my spell casting modifier.
Yeah, 19 hits. Yeah, as you summon this arrow, put your hands together, pull out this like arrow, and just fire it off.
1d8 plus my wisdom modifier. 11.
11 damage. Nice. What damage type is that? I'm assuming like radiant or something.
Yes.
Nicely done.
Con save.
Of course. Thank you for the reminder. Oh, just passes for the 12.
Then I'm gonna. How much of this counts as difficult terrain?
How much of what this stuff you're on?
Actually, I don't think it matters because I have the mobile feat. I don't think I'm difficult terrain counts for me.
Oh yeah, if you got the mobile feat, yeah, it doesn't matter. You
Okay, I'm
just
gonna go 5,
leap and jump over all this difficult stuff like nobody.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I'll go here, and do I get a bit of half cover from the rock if anyone fires from, obviously past a certain angle I won't, but is that enough to get?
I'd say if you wanted to get half cover, you'd have to go like there.
Okay, I'll go there then.
Obviously, like it depends on the angle, but yeah, I'd probably say like there.
Okay, well yeah, we'll see what happens, but...
Last legendary action, to whack you, Hedge, because he doesn't like you, and you've been shooting him in the face. That is 17.
That's my AC exactly.
It's racing exactly. Thank the Lord. I'm getting these terrible dice again. So that is 12 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And then 3 fire damage.
Yeah. Can I do anything about that? No, I can't. Carry on.
Fair enough, yeah. As this reaches over this this bit of cover and just slams down at you. And it's not really like the fact that it slams down at you. It's more like the smacking that thing and the fire erupting from it and stone smashing into your face. Irvin, you got a genie in front of you.
Yes, I do.
What are you going to do about it?
I don't like things being near me.
Are you big on personal space?
Yeah.
Got the horse, keep him away.
I'm going to use my dagger. Hold on.
Are you throwing it?
Well, I would, but I'm right next to him, so I can't, because that would be disadvantage.
I wouldn't throw it if I was you.
Must have been at some point.
That's so funny.
Thank you. I almost sounded sincere.
Oh. Well, that's great.
Sadly, a 10 doesn't hit as you're trying to sort of fuddle around to pick up your dagger. And you go for an attack, but his just large arm just blocks your attack and whacks it back away. Anything else on your turn? Any bonus actions or movement or anything?
If I dash away, they still get attack of opportunity, don't they?
They do. Sad. You've used your action to make an attack, so you can't use your action to make a dash. Unless you have some kind of feature that'll do it.
Yeah, no. It's
There we go. Alrighty. Back to the top of the initiative order is Beats. Beats, what you got?
Oh, fucking.
I'm just gonna start beating this guy. So
Start beating this guy up.
yeah,
Alright,
open
roll some attacks.
Does not go.
Before you roll the attacks.
it. Oh,
Do you know about advantage of flanking and shit?
me? No.
Yeah.
Beats told me no death.
Okay. If you're opposite someone, so if you were to go there, like opposite with Hedge, diagonally opposite, or if you were to go here opposite with Irvin, you get advantage on the attack.
Because you're like flanking either side.
Okay.
So.
Beats knows this because Beats is a pro.
I mean, you are literally the battle master class. I feel like that would make sense for Beats to know about.
Yeah.
Beats is a battle master. That's the best joke I've ever heard.
Battlemaster is my middle name. You know.
How many middle names does Beats have now?
You know. So many. That is also one of his middle names. The one with the most middle names. Okay, so now I can start hitting them.
Now you can start hitting them. And you have advantage. Oh, that's a crit.
Nice.
Nice. Tweet.
So now I roll. Where is it? D4?
No, just click the little club thing. So click the word club.
Oh yeah, sorry, down here, yeah. Nice. I'd do it again.
Yes, you can. So that's 13 damage on this guy, and 18. No, 27. Sorry, hits. Definitely hits.
Only 6.
And then only 6. So yeah, you just turn around, and in this, for the critical hit, you just leap unusually high into the air, and then straight down into just the back of his head as he's blocking the attack from Earth. And then just as he's about to swing around, you almost bat his face back the other way around. At which point he's just got this incredibly upset and just
This is the beatdown of your life, boy.
his turn. And
this is the beatdown of your life, boy.
He would like to. He could do that, but that would get rid of that. So he's going to. Yeah, fuck it. He's going to move just here. And then he's going to cast a spell. And as he begins to cast this spell, he just sort of swings his flare around, and in one hand, he just performs these strange sort of movements. And you can see it's almost like his fingers break and begin doing this sort of insignia with his fingers like breaking into different symbols and positions and things like that. And as they snap back together, his hand just grows twice the size, and his arms grows twice the size, legs, and he just grows immensely tall and brutish as he casts Enlarge Reduce on himself.
A concentration spell, you say?
You are correct. I completely forgot about that, and he likes his fire elemental, so actually he wouldn't do that. He's just going to go...
Does he like his fire elemental?
He does, despite...
What's it done for him, though?
Yeah, despite what it's actually really done, he's not a fan. Or he is a fan, rather. So he's going to make a couple of attacks. So beats against the 14 to hit. I don't believe that hits. If that does hit, I'll be very surprised. Your AC, is it higher than 14?
Oh, is it me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I can't say it. It is 14.
Your AC is exactly 14. Sadly,
Yeah.
that one does hit you. You take. Dice
That sounded like a lot of dice.
You are very much the weapon and not the defense.
So that's
I
7,
parry it with my face.
7 bludgeoning damage and 8 fire damage. So 15 damage in total as this flail swings around and cracks you across the face. And
Nothing. I eat flails for breakfast.
He's going to attack
I flail.
again because fuck you, Hedge. That is a 19 to hit.
Yeah.
And in the same sort of motion, he cracks, beats across the face. He swings around with just 2 hands, smack straight into your face. So that is that's 7 bludgeoning damage again, but 14 fire damage.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 2d8. You rolled an 8 and a 6 for the fire damage.
Okay, well.
He is a happy-go-lucky guy, and as he cracks you across the face, he can tell it hurt. And you've got this like singe mark just across the chin, and he just gives you this wide, sort of toothy smile. Like, maybe you won't work construction so well. Maybe I just kill you now and take the others. Yes, I think that's fine. And proceeds swinging it around and around his head. Next up, Ayla. Ayla, what you doing, girl? I'll say girl again, I promise.
Thank you.
Was that GU?
Yeah.
RL? Girl.
You're over there. Heat it. Fire elemental there.
Lift it up, or is it just the one?
The one that was over there, the one that's over there, and the one that's there.
This one's
Are like, yeah.
Is he stood on?
He is like good, like pretty much like in front of the rock. He's very, very tall, so like 1 foot on it is like nothing for him.
So how's everyone else looking?
Okay. I'm guessing you're not.
How are you looking, Hedge?
About a third.
Okay. A very useful statistic when one does not know your total hit points.
I'm well on my way to becoming roasted in my shell.
Fair enough. I've heard that's a delicacy in some parts of this country.
It probably is. Titan's a fucking weird place.
Oh shit.
Nicely done. As Celine charges forward, just giving this draconic scream, leaps up into the air, 2 hands on a warhammer, and just slams down on the side of his face. And you can just hear like the crack of his nose as it breaks. And this plume of fire that just runs from it.
Ayla's nickname for her Echo Celine, and is Celine's nickname for her Echo Ayla?
I guess. Technically, the Echo is Celine. And
I mean,
it's the other way
technically,
around.
like, when I said it as the other C, their sister is the echo.
Yeah.
Not themselves.
So technically that
Imagine if beats could make more beats. Well, for never be safe.
Just
I
so
don't want to see that.
nicely done. And you can make another attack. Oh no, 23 also hits. Ooh. Damn, that's pretty good damage. It's a lot of damage. He is not happy. Not happy at all now. As you slam straight down on his face, and then another just hit to his stomach, and you can hear the crack of one of his ribs break. He's not looking too great right now. He himself, you can see, like I said, this glowing glowing blood essentially, dripping out of his nose, and the scar that hedges cores on his face, and broken nose and everything. And he's starting to regret some decisions. Though trying to keep up a persona of wealth and power, he's going to take a legendary action to... you said you weren't looking so good. I think he'll probably try and press on... the meekest of the group.
That's what we get from honesty, JJ.
That'll be a 27 to hit.
Question: where he stood, would I have got any cover from that rock? I'm assuming he's quite tall, so it's not gonna.
He's very, very tall. He's 9 feet tall. So really, that rock, it would give you cover against ranged attacks, but when he's right there on you, it's not really an issue.
No,
for
I
him.
figured it wouldn't, but I've just remembered it, and he hit me with a 17, which is my AC. So I was like, maybe I could get some HP back.
Right.
But there's nothing I can do about a 27.
Yes, no, not quite. So let's see how this goes. This legendary. So that is 13 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, I'm so dead.
And only 5 fire damage.
Oh, I'm not dead.
As this thing comes around, and the fire slightly dims, with him being really quite hurt. But as he sort of spins it around, cracks you straight across the face, and it's more the bludgeoning that just sort of cracks you and leaves this deep scar straight across your face. And then there's the fire elemental, who can just do so many things.
Did he make 2 con checks for those damage rolls?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Legendary resistance. Fuck, legendary resistance.
Okay, well, at least he's using them.
Did you use 2 there?
Yep.
So he's out.
He is now out. Especially in this sort of time of being quite weak, you can tell that he's just doing everything he can to hold on. Because without this fire elemental, it would just be him alone in a room with people he maybe underestimated. So he'll go the fire elemental. Oh wait.
You done fucked up.
Sort of. Most of his space and long while squeezing a creature that doesn't element like cool. So I'm gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 40. So as it's gone through your space, Beats, sadly you just take damage because a fire elemental has literally just moved through your space. Fuck's sake, you take 1 fire damage. Hardly any.
Fire elemental's a little bitch, baby.
Ayla, you also take 1 fire damage from this thing being right within your space. And then as it's here, it's going to... Oh, yes, no, sorry. You take 1 fire damage, and you start to realize that some of your armor and some bits on you just start catching fire. And you are now on fire.
Nice.
On your turn, On your turn, you can take an action to make a. Well, you can take your entire action just to douse the flames and stop being on fire. But at the start, you'll take more damage. Same with you, Ayla.
Why would I do that?
You're on fire.
I look badass.
I love
It's
the
literally
idea
on.
of people telling Beats he's on fire, and he's like, "I know I'm killing this combat."
And then they go there as well and set Irvin on fire.
For fuck's sake.
Beats, you get an attack of opportunity.
Oh, and I will take it.
Oh, Jesus Christ! All right. Roll the damage, I guess.
You done fucked up.
10 bludgeoning damage. Reduced to 5 because your clubs aren't magic.
I'm magic.
And then as it's...
My mama get down.
it's going to very, very kindly step out of your space. And... Oh, would it though? It's his fire elemental. No, yeah, it will. It'll step out of there and make an attack against Ayla, an attack against Irvin. So Irvin, that is a unnatural 20, so just a dirty 20 to hit. And Ayla, that is a 21 to hit.
What was it to hit you?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
So against you, Irvin, that is 14 fire damage. And against Ayla is 12 fire damage. As this thing swirls around your space, you are all now on fire. So on your turn, at the beginning of your turn, you'll take some damage, and you can use your entire action to douse the flames if you would like to, or you can just say, fuck it, I'm on fire.
We didn't start the fire. It was the fire elemental.
Cool, and then that's going to be its turn. Then we'll go to Hedge. Yeah, it was Hedge, wasn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Hedge.
I'm gonna go 5, 10, 15 round here.
Heals.
I'm gonna pull out a short sword and take a slash.
Well, that hurts.
Okay. Plus sneak attack. This sword is not magical.
Advantage on that. Do you want to try for the crit?
Sure, why not? No. But yeah, the sword's not magical, so 15. And I'll take a second strike as well with the short sword. Advantage. 16.
16 sadly does not hit. As you strike the first time, it just scratches him just across the thing. And it's quite a deep scratch, like straight through the sort of cheek. And this sort of welt of fire comes out of his mouth as he embraces the pain. But then the second attack, you go for his throat then, and he just sort of pulls his head out of the way. Anything else?
Yes, I'm a bonus action, disengage, and then move 5, 10, 15 feet further away.
Alright. I think there are enough surprises here. I say legendary action. Thump.
He's an asshole.
Wait, do we get attack of opportunity?
It's a teleport,
Oh.
so he literally like immerses himself in fire and then reappears again in that space.
Constitution check though.
Oh, thank God. 14. It's still up.
Oh, he is hanging on to this thing by a thread.
He's hanging on by a goddamn thread to this thing, hoping it'll do something.
Just the sheer willpower of not wanting to be alone is keeping this fire elemental in the room.
Garva, what are you doing?
I will shout from behind my rock, "You're all doing really well."
You're up
5.
there.
Oh, I'm hiding. 5, 10. 15.
I was trying to, but
Gava the Rogue.
Are you a man or a mouse?
someone say mouse.
I will move there, and I'll go the old guiding bolt star arrow combo. Actually, before I do, is he holding any metal?
Yeah, he's holding his massive flail. He's got several loads of rings on his fingers and also
Don't break it. I want it.
he's a very he's a very decadent being.
Yeah, but so his armor's not metal, just his weapon.
His weapon, like I said, several rings and different bits, but no, not technically. He doesn't technically have any armor on per se.
Okay. Oh, that was not hit. Rubbish.
That does badly as you fire off. It just cracks into the column next to him, and it just sort of explodes in a plume of dust.
Oh, I don't think that hits either. Rubbish. Turn. Next person, please.
Next person does not come, for he uses another one of his legendary actions to try and whack Hedge across the face.
Ben, I'm just going to move here.
Hello, yes.
I've just moved there. That's
Cool. Hedge has hit him a fair bit, and also was the guy who released him, but is now refusing service to him, and he's pretty pissed off.
Hey,
So
I
he's
wanted to
gonna-
know the full details.
Lucky bastard. That's 15 to hit.
And misses.
Yeah, so he sort of, comes from this plume of smoke and just starts swinging the flail randomly, not knowing exactly where he's sort of appeared or where you are. And luckily, you managed to just duck down below this huge metal skull that's swinging around and around and around everywhere.
I don't say that out loud.
Next up would be
Really
no.
lucky this guy got
Oh.
3.
Irvin. Next up is Irvin. Irvin, at the beginning of your turn, you take 4 fire damage.
Okay. I don't want to be on fire anymore, thank you.
Okay, so use your whole action, just start patting yourself down and brushing off the fire, and it does fairly easily go out, almost like unnaturally easy, almost like fire light, but.
I will then use my bonus action to healing word Hedge, because he's an idiot.
That's not normally a good enough reason to give healing, is it?
Yeah, speak the healing words, Hedge. You are healed 9 points.
Thank you.
Oh, very nice. Anything else?
No.
No.
Right where I am.
Alrighty, final legendary action comes into play. And that's that's a
I know.
17 dead.
That's why I say.
Oh, can I use my reaction to woe this man and take a d6 from his attack roll?
Sweet, no matter what he rolls, no matter what you get from it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad roll. How do you see this sort of happening as you do this sort of thing?
He's like lining up this very nice stroke. Hedge is struggling a little bit, and I just shout at him when he goes to take it. Or maybe, actually, no, I'll just blow my trunk. Why not?
Just like
Dawns of war.
swinging around, and he's almost like, I don't know, maybe he's had some dealing with elephants before, but your trunk blowing echoed throughout this room just sort of like makes him unnaturally flinch a little bit. So yeah, he misses the flail attack entirely, and instead of hitting you, Hedge, it just hits the column next to you, and it almost like breaks this huge chunk off the column, which like splatters in flames. Beats, you are up next. This guy is looking pretty rough, I'll say. I'll easily say now. He's breathing. As he's breathing, Hedge, you can hear it's quite laboured, and literal like smoke is sort of coming from his mouth. And he's not sort of stood upright and tall as he was now. Now he's in a bit more of a desperate way. And he's maybe, with your natural perception head, you can almost see he's making a couple of eyes towards the door. He's making, his eyes are sort of darting back and forth places, but mainly towards the door. But Beats, at the beginning of your turn, you take, for fuck's sake, 2 fire damage.
Do I get any inspiration for feeling like a badass right now?
You give inspiration. You don't know. No, sadly, you don't get feeling badass. Would you like to use your turn to get rid of the flames, or are you staying on fire? You're staying on fire. Alrighty.
I will. You know when you throw someone against a wall?
Yeah.
What is the damage on that?
So, okay, to throw someone, you would need to use your action to grapple them. Well, no, you use one of your attacks to grapple them, and then I'd say your other attack can be used to make a strength check to see how far you can throw them. And then for every 10 feet you throw someone, they take 1d6 damage.
Oh, that's not worth it then.
Yeah. I'd probably say like 1d6 plus strength damage, because you are like throwing them like that.
I'm not throwing them around like a doll. No, I'm just gonna do the normal run at him and hit him in the face.
Run at him and hit him in the face.
You know, that move.
That old maneuver. Sadly, a 15 doesn't hit as you charge towards him. You give yourself away a little bit by just screaming this bugbear, just roar as you charge towards him. He's managed to dodge out of the way. But you get another attack. So.
Want to see me do it again? There we go.
Very, very nice. Roll damage. 5. Not quite.
Once I get that mace off of his corpse.
Not quite enough, sadly, as it does sort of strike him, just sort of like as an uppercut. But yeah, it's not quite. You can see he's like swaying on his feet now, still just about swinging the flail around. But you can tell like the momentum of the flail is sort of moving him off his feet a little bit. He's got like stars in his eyes, kind of. It has been. It's now his turn.
Oh,
hopefully the final turn, but we'll see. And yes, sadly, JJ, he's going for you. So the first attack is a dirty 20.
Low damage rolls.
Low damage rolls. Oh, okay. Maybe saved. So that's 7 bludgeoning damage. And 9 fire damage.
He literally just dead. Oh.
Turtle soup.
No, that's quite a lot of what I was on.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry. As he's like, Beats comes up and sort of like uppercut clubs him, and he sort of like looks around like, and he has to use both hands for this now, as it's seeming even heavy for him, but he just sort of brings it up and sort of flares it in front of you, Beats, so you can't intervene, and then just slams it straight down on our good friend Edge. Smacks you straight over the head. You fall to the ground. This sort of like burning, this sort of like burning print just in your sort of forehead as you've been knocked down to the ground. That was unfortunate. And his next attack, because he doesn't necessarily. I mean, if you die, you die. But he's going to go for Beats on his next attack to try and.
So again, flashbacks to when Ben absolutely mauled Mittens on the floor.
And Beats with a 13 to hit you, which I think we said doesn't hit.
No, I'm 14. Decent.
Sweet. So then, yeah, as he's sort of like reveling in the thing of that, he gets a little bit overconfident, swings it your way, and you manage to just duck out of the way easily enough. Easily enough. Next up is Ayla. Ayla, the turtle man is down. Shit's going on, but you're on fire. You take.
Did he make a save for Beats hit on him for his?
Thank you very much.
So wait, he has to do a save every.
He keeps it up every time he's hit. He's concentrating on the spells every time he's hit, but thankfully he makes it.
Concentration.
So
thankfully.
5 fire damage at the beginning of your turn.
How do I not?
You can use an entire action to douse the fire off you.
Will it go up next time?
You don't know. Probably not. It's fire.
So, do I get 2 actions or 1 action with 2 attacks?
You get 1 action with 2 attacks.
So if I do this, I don't get 2 attacks.
I wish headbutting was like a super move I could do.
A viable movement.
I mean, I would allow headbutting to be an unarmed strike, which would just be 1 plus strength.
Beats has got a hard head.
My mother always told me to use my head in a situation, and so I headbutt the math teacher. Take that, Mr. Franklin.
Oh yeah, is your Unleash Incarnation? Oh no, yeah, you do get an action surge. Which I think you
Oh,
use,
that gives
yeah.
me an extra action.
So which gives you an extra action, so you could use that, or I can't remember. Yeah.
What's the thing where I can use my echo? You can
What do you mean take an attack? Like,
if someone get attacked.
oh, you haven't unlocked that yet. That's the thing that Celine has, but Ayla doesn't.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what level it was.
Yeah, I think you get it like level 9, 10.
The value action says extra action.
Yeah, so you could take an action to douse the fires, and then you have another action to whack stuff. You don't, it would seem.
Oh my
You get 1 per day.
god. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot you can fly. So you're using that, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Take an action. Wipe the flames off of you. Easy enough. And then... Gonna run around.
Long rest.
Yeah, 1 per long rest, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not technically day, but you get me. Cool.
Attacks.
Yes. We need to get up to them to attack.
I'd have to move away from them. Oh no.
You would have to move, unless you want to attack the fire element.
I can just attack from my thing.
Oh, yes, you can. Cool. And then, yeah, you can attack from your thing. Good thinking.
Is he looking like...
He's looking pretty rough. He's looking really quite rough now. Okay.
Which gives me an extra attack on my
It does. You get 3 attacks. 23 hits. That's just the 6.
Whoa.
6 damage. Because
Oh,
technically,
right.
if you had
It's
advantage,
giving
it would have
me
been a
a
crit.
crit,
But 15 doesn't hit, sadly.
Oh my god.
But then Unleashing Kana with the 3rd attack. 13 doesn't hit, sadly. As this shadowy echo of Celine charges up, sadly, just this flurry of strikes. He's really quite desperate, and he's so swinging his flail to block most of them with unnatural ease. Legendary action. Hit Beats. Fuck you, Beats.
Isn't it legendary action if he's a little bitch?
I think you should write your own rule book.
12 to hit you beats that.
Beats is the rule.
Wait for the legendary action. Hedge! Make me a death saving throw.
I don't wanna. It's scary.
Oh, it's very scary when it's the natural one.
Oh no!
You can all hear, so a death save, Ryan, so, I don't know if I told you about this, so you need 10 or above to pass, below 10 fail. If you roll a 20 on the dice, you are back up 1 hit point. If
Don't
you
look at me
roll,
like that. I didn't do it deliberately.
you fail 2 death saves. You get
So he has
3.
one left?
So it's first to 3. So he only has 1
Don't
left.
worry, Hedge, we got your back.
You can all just hear this sort of like splutter and cough from Hedge on the ground, as you can tell. He's really not doing too good.
He's being very dramatic.
He is. Legendary action again. Fuck you, Beats. Oh my fucking god, 12 again. Never fucking mind. Oh no, I forgot the fire elemental's turn. I completely forgot about his turn.
Is it worth it? He's so bad.
Do you do a con?
It's a bit embarrassing that he's got legendary actions, but he can't strike someone with an AC of 14.
I know. The man has
Who's on fire, just screaming.
The man has plus 10 to hit. Is doing terribly. So this thing is just going to do the old fire elemental bonanza, where it's going to move into Irvin, and then move into Celine.
The only damage he's been able
And
to do
then
so far.
you're on fire again. You both take. I'm just going to do both of you at the same time. You both take 4 fire damage, and then it's going to attack the both of you. 14 plus 3, 17 for you, which I believe doesn't hit. Because you've got the plate thing.
Yeah,
And then against you is 13 to hit. No, God, that's 14 to hit you, Irvin.
I'm gonna use my reaction to shield.
Alrighty. So is this thing fun? Oh, then it should actually hit.
On a 13?
Apologies.
No, on a 14.
No, on a 14.
14. Is that your AC?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want
So as this thing goes and flashes, it's like spinning around in this
Is
14
14 that bad?
out against
Yes.
Flash Taylor, which is that's max damage.
In Ben's other campaign, Brian,
19 fire damage.
3 of us have over 20 AC.
Oh. Okay.
What's Doc, 20 or
And
21?
you're on fire.
With shield.
20.
With his
Yeah.
shield.
Beats doesn't need AC.
Apparently not.
I'm
Beats is
You know,
the AC.
I'm struggling to hit any of them. There's one guy who can get his AC up to fucking 28 or some bullshit like that. It's fine. I've got Matt to just keep wailing on. It's easy.
My plan's just to have so much HP that it doesn't matter.
I mean, you should have been a barbarian. sir.
Then beat Ayla with a +5 con.
I am a barbarian and everything but
And
skill.
Irvin, as it spins around to strike at you, you just summon this spectral shield that blocks the fire, and the fire just splays over it easily enough. Then we get Garva. Good man, Garva. What would you like to do?
Sorry, just want to notice what happened. So it missed both of them, didn't it?
It missed who? No, it hit Ayla.
Oh, okay.
Irvin.
Okay, right. I will see I was going to call him my good friend Hedge, but I will see Hedge, who I barely know, and see that he's struggling a bit. So maybe offer him some heals.
My new acquaintance.
My new acquaintance, yes, that's a nice way of doing it. Saying it. Yeah, I'll give you a bonus action healing word.
How generous.
If you're going to be sarcastic, mate, I'll let you down.
No, I mean that was sincere. I think this is the first time you've healed anyone all campaign.
I didn't even know you had the skill.
There you go.
7 Hedge, as
Beautiful.
you're lying around, sort of balancing on the back of your shell, you just suddenly just.
Don't say like that. That's degrading.
And you've got like this. Hedge, I completely forgot about this. Can you make me a Constitution save for an injury check?
Oh, we're not doing that in this campaign, are we?
Yeah, we are. Because
Oh,
fuck it, it's
fuck
funny.
you. Okay, that's fine.
It's all good.
You're fine.
An
Without
injury
a
check.
scratch.
In our other campaign, we've got an injury table, so when you go down, you have to make a save or you take an injury, which can be things like losing an arm, which happened to Mittens.
Oh, your starfish thing.
Beats lose the mark.
When I told Abby that Mittens had lost an arm, she told me I should just become a starfish and grow it back.
That's sound advice, really. You can't argue with it.
I
can
mean,
you?
yeah, you can't really argue with that. In a world where people can polymorph, I think it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, you yourself could polymorph. I think it's kind of ridiculous. You just didn't get it back.
I did. You then took it away again.
I did. Garva.
Yeah, so I was a bonus action healing word, so I'm going to go in here and I'll strike with my club.
Go for it. Go for it, mate.
Go on, get it off.
Death save reset. So.
24.
Good job, I'm proud of you.
Hits, roll the damage. Garva, the druid. How would you like to do this?
What, with my club?
With your fucking club. The druid with his goddamn club.
Alright, this is... So I've got hedge up, I sort of run in, and there is no finesse or any sort of class in this swing whatsoever. This is a peasant swing. But it just catches him and just donks him on the head, and he just sort of goes down. And
yeah, you can as you can see as you run up to him and healing word him, there's just this brief from Hedge, which distracts him enough to make him turn around. And as he looks back at you, it's just this very unskilled, very, very wild, slow but heavy swing of a Loxodon that just manages to catch him just across the shoulder, shoulder, not shoulder, the nose, cheek area, and you can just hear this crunch as you hear this break, and then this sudden just plume of fire from his face, and he falls, spinning around, a heavy thud to the ground. The fire elemental immediately disappears as it just sort of fizzles out into the sand. He, from his sort of legs, fizzles out into the sand, and then in his last sort of dazed look up to you all, just says, "Oh, maybe we can come to it." And then just is whisked and wasped away. You can see this sort of strand of smoke just pull into this lamp. Pulls into the lamp. The lamp spins around in the air, flies up into the air, spinning 1,000,000 times a second. And then finally, the lid of it just spins around on top of the end. And then it falls to the ground. And the area goes silent.
So he's trapped back inside his...
He has gone back inside the lamp.
Okay.
Now, if I was to piss on the lamp, that's not going to cause problems, is it?
At around the same time, you'll hear just this this roar of flame, and the barriers you can see by this gate fizzle and drain away. Well, giving you access to the room beyond with the many potential items within. What would you all like to do?
Where is his mace?
His mace, thankfully, so all the equipment he was carrying, so all the golden rings and everything, dropped to the ground, including his flail. It's a flail, Ryan. Drops to the ground, just sort of in front of him.
I pick up the mace.
Flail.
Sorry, I got mace stuck in my head. I give it some swings. Does it have any fire on it?
I'm going to immediately stand back.
It doesn't fire, but it does as you swing it, and as you hold it, you can feel it's very, very warm. And as you swing it, there is this, faint flicker of light that comes from within the skull. But you can get the sense that this is something you might have to attune to. So attunement in D&D is where you spend, a certain amount of time with an object to unlock its full power, sort of thing. And you would have to do this by just spending at least the time of a short rest, which I'm assuming you're all taking, especially Hedge.
I don't have a immediate short rest. Because we're still stuck in here until the storm ends, aren't we?
Yeah.
Can I approach Hedge
Mm-hmm.
and just ask him how we left and nothing was wrong and came back and there was a genie in the middle of the room?
Well, you know how this place is crumbling.
Yeah.
The storm outside dislodged a bit of the the roof and the rubble fell down and knocked the thing over.
Okay. Insight check, bitch.
Deception check, inside check there, I think.
Can I help Garb with the?
Oh,
I'll take
It
the help.
won't matter. It won't
Oh,
matter.
Will it not?
Boom! No, because you get
Hey.
25 and I get a 26.
Wait, what if I insight check?
can you beat a
I'll-
26?
I'll allow you to. I'll allow you to inside check.
Anyone beat
I also do it.
I can't.
Can I use my reaction?
What if I
with
investigate?
You know
There's
what? I would allow an investigation check. It'd be a quite high check, but I would allow an investigation check.
Can I have advantage?
Can I
Because
try
everyone
and
else is mad.
I'll give you guidance.
It'll be a pretty high check, but given everything that's happened and the battle that just came through,
Would you
but I'll
not
allow
take my word for it as my friend.
I think she knows you too well.
15. You try and look around. You try and look around the area, and it's you're not trying to do it very obviously. It's just a quick sort of glance, and maybe you wander around a little bit, and you find one of these arrows on the ground a little ways away, and you're like, oh, Hedge must have fired one of these, and it must have not broken or something. And yeah, you don't really see any signs of interference or tamperment, but then again, you did just fight, a genie and a fire elemental in this cavern, so finding any evidence would be pretty difficult.
An interesting tale, Turtle. An interesting tale.
But you, as
It's
he
real
says
lucky you
this,
guys came down to help, otherwise I'd have been turtle soup.
Now
Yeah,
that
go-
we can agree upon.
thinking about it, yeah, you're like, yeah, actually, to be fair, like with the storm outside, yeah, and it looked pretty rough out
Oh
there.
my god.
You can imagine.
Beats again, rolling so well on something great.
Beats just smell some bullshit, but it just must be all the cinders and stuff.
All the burnt
Yeah,
shell.
must have just been the storm outside that knocked it off, like he said. Man, what a crazy day.
To think it happened just when we arrived. It could have happened any time since it was put there.
Yeah, crazy, absolutely crazy. And Hedge, you just
So
keep thinking about like what you know of the storm and how it's crazy. And maybe you go on to speak about another time. Just saying like, well, luck seems to be in my favor and all this sort of stuff.
Maybe we should
Lying your
put
ass
some
off.
rocks around it so that if another one falls, it doesn't knock it off.
You mean put another rock on it?
No.
Which is what you just said you did.
No, rock fell from the ceiling and hit it and knocked it off and then freed it. So we should put some around it so that if something falls, it doesn't knock it off.
I mean, hopefully he's not able to come out of that thing again.
That would be ideal. Anyway, I would
We
like to
took him
cast Detect
out now.
Magic and see if there is anything barring our way to this
As you cast
glorious
Detect
vault.
As you cast Detect Magic, you do not see anything barring your way. This area, you can see the remnants of magic sort of on the floor, but it's as you cast Detect Magic, it sort of fizzles away and dissipates. There was clearly some kind of evocation magic blocking this area. But as you also cast Detect Magic, you can see this area full of magical items. One of which is, in fact, the flail that Beats now holds, that is riddled with powerful fiery evocation magic.
That's not the word. Riddled.
Yeah, riddled. Word.
City
But
riddle.
there
That
are
was like
many other things in here that have, like I said, have.
If someone handed me a magic weapon and said, "This is riddled with fire magic," I'd be like, "That sounds wrong."
So it gives you this burning sensation, does it?
You should take that magic item to a doctor, I think.
Yeah.
So you can see
Good to see, Doctor.
a suit of armor, which is magical. It's made of a strange chitinous sort of hide that you don't quite recognize on first look, but maybe you can investigate that. Looks quite good. Looked about the equivalent of sort of studded leather, but It has a magical element to it you're not quite sure of yet. Obviously, there's the flail. There is a brass necklace. Looks pretty heavy to wear, but adorned very, very beautifully. That is very clearly magical. There is a beautiful bow that has almost like at its tips these slight, almost like dragon's wings points, just sort of on the sort of end of the tips that you can see is also magical. A uncut bright red gem with a little brass chain around it as well. The chain, it looks like it should be like a necklace for a much larger creature. For you guys, it would, be a pretty big brass necklace. It would hang down to just below your chest, sort of thing.
A separate brass necklace, sorry. So there's a suit of armor, brass necklace, a bow, and then a gem.
A gem attached to the brass necklace. So like
that's the same item.
Yeah, that's the same. Okay. And a really interesting looking. It almost looks like an extremely complex screwdriver. It's like a little cube thing. It's about that sort of wide and that tall on all sides of it, where the corners are like edged off. So instead of like a right angle, it's like a diagonal corner. And inside looks to be sort of a lot of mechanical pieces that you don't think you could maybe understand, but maybe your friend, someone who's particularly good with tools and artificer, perhaps could take a look at.
11.
You also see 3 potions. One big vial, a large potion with glowing red liquid, a smaller potion which has the same liquid in it, and another potion which is a big ass potion, a big wine decanter sort of thing, with literal fire just brewing inside of it. Looks potentially quite interesting.
Sorry, Ben, could you run through them one more time, please?
So, there was essentially studded leather armor.
Oh, sorry, just the potions.
Oh, the potions. One large red potion, one small red potion, and one fiery-looking potion.
Perfect, thank you.
Cool. Who would like what?
The potions. With my detect magic, does that give me any indication of what they do?
I would say that the red ones seem to be. Actually, I'll tell you what. You guys have some potions of healing on you, don't you?
I've got a good one.
Yeah.
Oh,
it looks.
do. Oh wow.
It looks,
Okay.
Well, Greetish bought some.
Greater healing potion.
Yeah, it looks exactly the same as that, just in a much older decanter style thing. So you could make sense of that. The potion of fire giant strength seems to be some sort of transmutation magic, as if it would transform.
Fire giant strength, you say?
Yes, I accidentally said what it was. Yeah, it's fire giant strength potion. Fuck it. You know that.
You know that now.
You know that now.
Would I have?
Back from your days when you had a fire giant
The
room.
label on it that says fire giant strength potion. You guys never made any check.
I can read.
You can read.
I'm not.
What was that? Sorry, Irvin.
I was just saying, would I have known the potions?
Oh right.
I was looking at them, and then Irvin just turns them around in my hand to show me the labels.
Yeah. To be fair,
I'm not quite with it, you know.
You're an alchemist artificer, so you would definitely know that like giant strength potions are a very prominent and popular thing for strength. Looking at them, yeah, you would almost immediately recognize that sort of thing. Yeah, who would like what? Really?
If no one's got any complaints, I would like the bow.
I feel like it might have been made for your character.
Can I have
So he was made.
screwdrivery thing?
Screwdrivery thing? Of course. It looks like an extremely complex sort of thing, something that you've never really seen, but your eyes almost light up looking at it and seeing the complexity of it. It seems you can twist it and turn it to form different things and make different things, and there's different combinations where you can twist some of the mechanical sort of cage bit on the outside and move it in different ways to turn it into different tools. But to really get a sense of what it could be, you think you might have to attune to this sort of item. In fact, most of the items here you would have to attune to.
Can I have a look at the necklace with the gem in it?
Necklace with the gem in it, of course.
Young Master Turtle, can you see what this is?
Well, I get a sense that it is of the school of.
I would say not really any school, really. It's just your fucking magic. Almost of all schools, and yeah, almost like all schools at once.
No, I cannot.
Okay. Do I get any tingles about it?
I mean, picking it up, for the size of gem it is, it should not be this light. And you can almost feel it, just touching it, almost naturally pulling itself towards that druidic magic that you hold. It would take a little bit of time to properly, you need to attune to it before you get what it is, but you get the sense that it has something to do with your natural ability to magic, really.
Okay. I'll take that and probably spend the next rest of the storm trying to attune to it.
Yeah, okay.
Can I ask Hedge to look at the rings?
The rings? Yeah, the rings are non-magical. They're just fancy golden rings. Each one could maybe get you about 50 gold pieces.
I put them on.
Put them on. Fantastic. Java, in your bio bit of your character sheet, I've put the item in there, in the treasures part. And I'm assuming you're going to attune to that over time, attune to the bow over time, Hedge. So
Yes, please.
put that in your thing as well.
What's left?
There's the tool that Irvin got. I'm assuming you're going to attune to that.
Yes, please.
Oh, I like that, Ben.
Almost like I've got a magic item for everybody.
How big's the gem, Ben?
The gem, it's like that. Is like that big. Like,
Okay.
You know, proper.
Chonky boy.
Okay, trade it to you for the rings.
You want to trade the ring for the...
I can imagine being someone to death with it.
There you go, Irvin. That's in your character sheet.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah?
It is quite an interesting item that I found. So you still have you have another necklace, a like pure brass necklace.
Oh, so there were two necklaces.
There were two necklaces,
Oh.
yes.
I had the same confusion as you, Sam.
Yeah, okay. Good.
Yeah. There's a necklace with a large red gem at the end, and there's another one, just another standard, very fancy looking
Did
necklace.
that come up as magic for Hedge? Or...
That did, yeah.
Okay.
What else is that?
There is a fancy necklace and a set of studded leather armor. You already have pretty decent armor. You can have a look at the necklace if you like.
Beats is happy with his flail.
Yeah.
Cool.
Have you guys played For Honor?
I know of it, yeah.
Oh, I love the Conqueror.
Yeah, cool. Cool. So this
And Shigoki, because
is
people to death.
on your character sheet, you can tell.
With the bow, Ben,
Yeah.
can I pick the type, or is there one assigned to it?
There is one assigned to it,
Mhm.
and given the brass nature of the sort of like end tips of the bow, you can tell that this is from would probably be of a brass dragon. So after seeing what you saw Suvol do to one of the guards, you can assume it's fire.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
I'm just going to set that up on my sheet.
you have that. Give that a read.
Does that come with a +1 then?
It does, yes.
Sweet.
And also your flail, Ryan, I'll set your flail up for you. Half damage. Yeah, Ryan, I'll set your flail up for you because I know the ins and outs of the flail. I'm pretty sure I set it to be yeah, so the flail, Ryan, does
Well, that's a nice.
Oh, I'm running that as a test, and of course I roll a nat 20.
D8.
Lovely shiny stuff.
I love new shiny stuff.
Indeed. So now your skull flail should be in there for you, Ryan. The skull flail does 1d8 damage. So your clubs do 1d4 each. The flail now does 1d8
God was starting a fight.
plus.
I want the flail.
Plus 2d6 fire damage on a hit. While it is set alight, so you can use a bonus action to light it up or not light it up. While set alight, it creates a light around you, 40 foot of 20 foot of bright light, 20 foot of dim light. So it's basically like a torch that you can swing around and hit people with, and it causes fire damage. It also does another thing that I'll put on your character sheet for you to have a read of, because it could be kind of fun to pull out at some point. If you go to your character sheet and go to the bio tab in the sort of top right underneath your where it says like Battle Master, Desert, Bugbear, all that stuff, go to the bio, go down to treasure, and then have a read of that. Cool.
JJ or Ben, do you know if there's a quick way to just add +1 to my spell attack bonus?
Pretty
That
sure
save.
I'm pretty sure there is. If you go to the settings,
Yeah, if you go to settings.
and then it'll be in attribute options, save options.
Yeah, so I put +1 to all my
No.
saves, so that's fine. Is there a way to add it just to my... Or do I have to add it individually to each spell? Well, I know I can do that, but is there a way to just blanket add it? I guess turn my...
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think
Attribute
just
options. What about if you change your wisdom to +1 in there?
Will that just change...
I don't know.
Okay. I'll have a look. I assume it won't be in any more combat for the rest of today. Touch wood.
touch wood. Yeah. Well, with that sorted, why don't we take a quick 5-minute break, and then when we get back,
Great.
we'll talk that. But before I do that, can someone roll me 2d4, please?
We need to coordinate who's doing that.
All roll 2d4.
I will
And then-
take the Gava. I will take yours because you rolled it first. The storm lasts 3 hours.
Didn't we roll that last time?
Did we?
Yeah, we did. It was quite long, I think.
It was like. What was it?
Yes, I
Six?
believe we did, and it was 7.
4,
It was
7. Oh.
We're going with that 7 then. All right, completely forgot we rolled that. It's been a long week. Cool. Storm is 7 hours. You've gone through about an hour of it. You got 6 hours to go, folks. We don't have to role play any of that. You can just say you sit through it and nothing really happens. But have a think if there's anything you'd like to do during that time.
Who took what of the remaining items?
So the remaining items left, there was the studded armor.
I've already got that.
That's it. Oh, you've got the you've got the armor as well.
I've already got studded armor on.
Oh, right, okay. Well,
Somehow I think this one might be better, but up to you.
there is an extra bit of there's an extra bit of studded armor there. If anyone would like to studded some fancy magical studded leather armor.
Oh, it's magical, so it's better than mine. So I'll take it.
Cool. Yeah, sure.
As long as it's not like cursed.
It's magic studded leather armor. Gives you a +1 to your AC. So your AC is now 15, not 14.
Oh yeah.
You also do not suffer the effects of extreme heat.
Ooh. Oh, great. So I went
So
out
now,
to...
yeah, when in the desert, you're fine no matter how hot it is. You're okay. You're loving it.
Nice.
So your armor class here is now 15, and also you gain a +5 bonus to initiative rolls.
Ooh.
So you're more likely to go
Fast, man.
Fast as fuck, boy.
Alright.
I just saw Sonic rolling through the dunes.
Alright, and with that, we'll take a short 5-minute break, and I'll meet you guys back here for the rest of this adventure as we are
necklace?
Yes, Ayla took the other bronze necklace. So yeah, Ayla's got a necklace. Garva has a necklace with a big red rock on it. Irvin has a strange tool that can be used for all sorts of purposes. Hedge has a fancy bow, and Beats has a big old flail
Who's
and some
taking
new
the
fancy arms.
potions?
Who's got? My brain just broke. Who hasn't got I haven't got a healing potion because I can do healing.
Do you have a healing potion?
I have one.
I feel like we gave them to people. I can't remember how many Greetish got us.
Greekish got you. Oh, I'll have to check back through my notes, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you've got one. I mean, count however many you have, and that's how many you picked up. So Ayla's got one. Ryan says he has one. So you've got a greater one here, a regular one here, and then a potion of fire giant strength.
Okay. Well, I feel like that should go to either Ayla or Beat.
What, the healing potion or the potion of fire?
The fire giant strength one.
Alright.
Maybe they can arm wrestle for it.
What's it called? Fire strength.
Fire giant strength.
Fire giant strength.
Right.
For 1 hour, your strength increases to 27.
Cool. I think, like JJ said, I think you should arm wrestle for it.
Oh, all right. Do you two want to arm wrestle?
In the
Beats
traditions of Ambyr, you arm wrestle to decide this.
Pretty much. Do you remember the one Mazzy and Griffin had where it became like an event?
Yeah, and I tried to help you win, and you still lost.
Yeah.
It was not a fine moment.
That was not Griffin's finest
Incredible.
hour.
From that, I nearly had a whole arc where Matt was like, God of fate, because he won a fucking arm wrestle contest despite help from gods. Because technically, yeah, that was Doc using his power of gods to help you win.
No, that was Felix.
No, it's Phoenix, and it's
Oh, no,
Silvery Bar.
Felix. Oh, never mind. Oh, yeah, Silver Barbs. Fuck. Well, you're still a paladin of Tyr and you lost, so you suck.
Don't mince your words, Ben. That's cool.
So, if you guys are going to arm wrestle for it, Beats and Ayla, as you all, we'll say, as you all sort of gather the things and head back up to the sort of the top of the cave, you can see the storm is still rolling on, and there's nothing really to do other than sort out some of this stuff, and you decide to arm wrestle for it. So you get to one of the sort of large stones in the middle, both put your things down, and can you both roll me just a straight strength check? So Beats and Ayla, just straight strength.
Oh, well, it's over.
No, it's best of three. It's best of three. It's not just a straight one.
I thought we were just doing one.
But a crit does get you two. Because it's not like, it's not just a thing of like immediately slamming it to the ground. It's like a thing of like, it's a struggle.
Okay.
Arm wrestles are a bit more of a struggle. So Beats, can I get a strength check, please? I don't think you can physically beat a 25. No, because you're...
Oh, it's a good effort. Oh, no, it's a strength save.
That was a strength save, not a strength check. So you're going to want to roll like thing over the... Yeah, not quite. Actually, you could technically beat it, but not this time, sadly. So it's best of three, but because she crit, she's got two of them. So we roll again. Straight strength from Ayla.
It's a best of three, but she's crit, so she's got two.
Best
Doesn't
two.
that
Sorry,
mean I won?
first two, three. First
Right.
to three.
So best of
13.
5 then.
Beats, can you beat it?
Can I cast guidance?
Do you have guidance?
Yeah.
Holy fuck! I didn't realize Bard's got guidance. I would say, let me have a look.
Wait, hold on. I kind of dozed off. Why am I doing this?
to get a potion of fire giant strength for 1 hour.
Who said I even wanted it?
Oh,
I am the
I mean-
fire giant.
Okay.
You're halfway through a competition, so...
I mean, if you
Okay,
don't want
yeah.
it, then
I mean, if you
I'll
don't
do it
want,
for the sake of an arm wrestle. Yeah.
Your pride's on the line now, though.
Wait, so I've got guidance, right?
yeah, I'll allow you to use. I'll allow you to use guidance.
Why isn't this? Oh, you've got control of my thing.
I do. Yeah. So roll me a strength check, and then whatever you roll, add a d4 to it.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to get a 4 on this one. Not quite.
Seriously?
And in a feat of just pure strength, you both sit down, and Ayla is literally almost just whack down. It's a very simple and very quick and done thing. Ayla, you get a potion of fire giant strength. Good job.
You want a potion of fire giant strength off a man who didn't want it.
Yeah. I'm proud.
Honestly, I was more interested in winning the arm fight than the
I thought we were trying to do handshakes. So Beats is very confused because I thought we were gonna do like the
Is that why you were so pathetically weak?
I'm gonna beat you with your own trunk.
You
wear like a
fucking
scarf.
try it. See where it gets you.
Right.
We've got 4 hours in this cave, or whatever's
You
left.
guys got like
4 hours is too long. One of us is gonna have to go out there.
no. At this point, you've still got like 6 hours left in this fucking cave. Like
I will
Actually,
grind you into paste and eat
no,
you.
you're tuning to your items, so 5 hours. So, for the benefit of moving things along, is there anything anyone actually wanted to do within this cave?
No.
Can we start healing?
No, just heal up. I mean, you can obviously take the equivalent of as many short rests as you need or you want. But because it's a 7-hour storm, this thing trails along a long time. And as you guys are, looking out through you can look out through some of the holes in the rock, essentially, rock door you made, and you can still see some of these elementals just slowly passing through the storm. You can hear the crack of some lightning forks just sort of landing near and around the area you're in every now and again. It does seem to pick up, after about 3 hours in there, it does seem to pick up quite rapidly, and it's almost like then you can't even see like 5 feet in front of the 5 feet in front of the door. It's absolutely insane, and it's dark outside. You're traveling at night, but it is now like pitch black out there, completely pitch black, save for the occasional just spark of light. There is no moonlight or anything to be found. But eventually, the 7 hours does finish, and it's around sort of this time you can see the first slight warm hues of the sun, beginning to rise over the horizon. You have lost sadly a fair bit of time down here, but gained a little bit more, and maybe some experience in not touching bad things. Although who knows? You got a lot of stuff for it. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you have 6 hours down here. You can take short rests if you want to. So you can roll as many hit dice as you want or need to.
Magic, thank you.
Um,
So what sort of time are we coming out of this cave then?
You're coming out of this cave around sort of 5 a.m. You guys have been going to bed usually around sort of 7 a.m. So, you think you've got about 2 hours left before the sun is fully, not fully risen, but, before it's not nighttime anymore, fully daylight. And before you'll have to start making... Actually, you've been resting for most of the day. I'd say you wouldn't be making checks for exhaustion. Not anytime soon, anyways. So yeah, how long into the next day would you effectively want to travel, or would it just be that quick, 2 hours travel and then try and get your heads down into the next night?
I think we try and keep the thing going, and also we've lost a lot of time today, so might as well just try and make 2 hours at least.
Is it worth going out, or is it worth just staying here where we've got like a comfortable, safe shelter completely enclosed from the elements, which we've now cleared, Like, is 2 hours travel worth it, or is it just worth just properly like looking after ourselves and then setting off again?
I don't know because I think we want to try and get there quickly, but I'm not sure 2 hours gains us as much as
Well, yeah,
that much.
2 hours for it's too hot to travel, and then we're resting in tents trying to avoid the heat versus.
Okay, we'll hold out then and
Safer here.
push off in a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Well, obviously you're in this place. I believe Arcane Lock just lasts, so Arcane Lock is still up. I'll say the only thing I'd say is make for anyone who would be on watch. You don't have to do it in order. Everyone just make a perception check. It'll be with disadvantage because of the arcane locked door. You'd be seeing through tiny little holes. Just make a perception check. Anyone who would effectively be on some kind of watch.
You're all welcome. You're in safe hands.
Jesus Christ.
So,
I locked the door, it's fine.
yeah, God,
Look at my arcane lock.
I think
I see nothing else.
Probably, Edge, you're still, licking your wound from the day just gone. Irvin and Beats, maybe you're looking over some of your stuff. Irvin, this contraption you've got is immensely complex. The amount of tools and things you can craft from it, the possibilities are almost endless, and it takes up a lot of your time. Beats, flail is fun display.
On like one of the big walls, I'm like chiseling in the story of the fight we had.
Nice, yeah.
With the flail.
Yeah, which
I've got Mason's tools.
Oh, very nice.
sure everyone in this cave just loves just hearing the of Beats just thing that's way away. But Garver, your thing was fairly simple, and you're making sure to keep a watch out. You weren't too badly injured in that fight, and you're maybe still a bit concerned about what's outside. And you do notice a shadow against the door. It comes very, very close to the door. However, through the things, you can't really see anything other than somewhat semblance of like orangey brown color, like a cloak. Actually, I'll say with the 22, I'll say you can tell that there is a hooded figure that quickly comes outside the door, almost like briefly looks around the door to take a peek through, and then immediately runs off. Like it spends like 2 seconds just looking around. Maybe
Does it
pushes against
look
it.
similar to the figure we saw in the desert?
With a 22, it definitely has probably around the right height. Maybe like when you've seen it up close, it's maybe not as tall as you originally thought, but it's a humanoid figure. It's about sort of like 5 feet tall. Not too tall.
Okay, I'd relay that to the group and
over, and yeah, just look at the thing and then rushes off.
I'd relay that and discuss that we're probably being followed in some capacity, I think.
Are they still visible? Can we just shoot them?
You said it just nipped in and out, didn't it?
Yeah, it literally dropped down, had a look for 2 seconds round. It placed its hands on it and almost like detected the arcane lock, essentially. Like placed its hands on it, pushed, realized, no, this is some sort of magic, and then rushed around and off.
Okay. Anything else happen, or is that?
That's pretty much it. You guys have secured yourself pretty well in this small space. And as the next night draws to a close, you can all get the effects of a full long rest. And Irvin, you can dispel the arcane lock, and you guys can keep making your moves. As you dispel it, the rocks just sort of like tumble down to the ground very, very quickly. And yeah, you can push out, keep making moves. As you push on, with your lizards and camel. Actually,
It's only one lizard, isn't it?
that's a very, very good. Well, yeah, lizard and camel, but that's a very good point of order. Lizard and camel. You bring them inside with you? I'm assuming maybe,
Would
but
they have fit?
maybe with a bit of a squeeze. They certainly would have fit inside, but through the doorway, a giant lizard, it would have been definitely a very big squeeze to get in.
If I remember rightly, there was this entranceway which we barred into a
Yeah.
small sort of room or chamber, and
It was like
then
a
there was
large-
like a squeeze through into where we're sort of staying properly.
Yeah,
But they wouldn't have made it through.
they wouldn't have made it through that squeeze through area,
I mean,
but they
if
might.
we
left
were
them-
trying to go
We left
inside
them in the foyer.
and bar the door, I think we would have definitely brought them inside.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so they, in the morning, it's rather evening. It's a bit of work to get them back out again, but they do manage to. You manage to get back on them, and away you go. It is around sort of 4 hours into your journey, a long, arduous journey through the night. And again, at this point, you're kind of sick of seeing the desert. As much as it might look beautiful to tourists and people who aren't there before, at this point, you're kind of just wanting this mission to be done. Maybe some of you might still think it's got its certain beauty, but after the dangers you faced and what you've realized is out here, it's pretty boring. But you begin realizing that the dunes are once again going much higher, and every single one you go up takes you longer to get up and longer to get down. And from every single one, you're realizing that the view is much better from each one, and you're getting higher and higher until eventually you go to one which takes you almost an hour to get to the top of. It's an insanely tall dune, like extremely large hills, sort of thing. And as you get to the top of it, you climb and just crest to the top. You look over and you realize the landscape changes. Changes, in fact, quite drastically. On the other side of this dune, or rather out of this dune, out of the bottom of the dune on the other side, emerges a sort of stone plateau, or plateaus, rather, and butts that seem to make up the floor of a vast fractal desert plain. The sand of the desert and the sand of the dune continues to trail down between these plateaus and butts into a sort of canyon. And they create a sort of corridors. The space between these large plateaus and things. To a god almost, it would look like a flat plane, but to you guys, it's these large canyons that are, they vary in size. Some are 80 feet wide, some are like 10 feet wide, and they look like corridors, vast networks of corridors that span this entire landscape. But way off in the distance, maybe most of a day's journey, you see something glinting, just way off in the distance, at the top of some stone structure that sets itself out apart from the rest of the place. A tall stone tower almost. Can't quite see the thing atop it. You can't quite make out the detail atop it, but you can tell in the moonlight it glints slightly with a sort of like bright light, indicating there's some kind of metal adornment or fixture or decoration atop this thing. Looking at the area before you, obviously the space between these plateaus is obviously very, very different. Some of them you think you could literally hop over, like some of them like 5 feet, you just jump over that, no problem. Some of them are like I said, like 50, 60, 70, 80 feet wide. So getting over them would be pretty difficult. So, if you guys had a good way of getting over these things, easy enough. But this is going to be most of a day's journey trying to jump over these spaces and do these things. So potentially you're thinking you might have to step down into the canyons below. However, obviously the moonlight does not quite make it into these canyons below, leaving them incredibly dark. You're not entirely sure what could be down there, what's waiting for you down there. If whatever took Suvor's lair could be down there. But you know, you now have a heading of a way to go. And you almost get the feeling that this is nearing the end. You can almost, you can literally see the tower at this point. Is there anything any of you would like to do? Anything you'd like to discuss, or just keep on going?
What was his instruction again? Was it just to follow the tower when we got there?
Yeah, so his lair was beneath a large tower with a large metal eye, like the large metal symbol.
Okay. Is there a clear path there, or do we have, or are the Callions blocking it?
It's not necessarily a clear path, but it's not a maze either. There are enough cracks where you think, okay, if we just keep going in a direction, we can probably keep going south. But because down in these canyons you can't quite see, the moon or anything like that, it'd be very difficult to keep going south. Might require a couple of checks. But yeah, it's not so bad that it's like a maze in certain ways to be cut off. No, like there's lots and lots of cracks and lots of canyons and things between all these bits, so that you can continue traveling in almost any direction.
Okay.
From this elevated position, is it potentially worth trying to scout at least the start of a route?
I mean, I could pop into some sort of aerial creature and have a little look around if you wanted.
Are we thinking initially try and go over and keep
the canyon?
Yeah, keep navigating across the gaps, or just make the decision that we're going to end up down there anyway and go straight down.
How
many canyons? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you go first.
How many canyons are there?
Oh, hundreds.
Oh.
It's,
I feel like if we enter, that's a maze.
Imagine like a desert plain. So with basically like a stone ground that's got loads of cracks in it. Now imagine that is sized up to like 1,000 times. So there's loads and loads of cracks that weave between all these places like a spider web almost. And these cracks are essentially the canyons that you're traveling through. So think about when you would take a hammer to glass, and it doesn't quite smash, but it creates all these cracks around. That's almost like what you're looking at here. Where the cracks.
We've got to try and map ourselves a route across these cracks that are small enough for us all to make.
How thick are the canyons? How far?
Oh, how far apart?
Yeah.
So some of them from here look like from the top of this dune. Some of them you can hardly tell there's a gap at all, maybe like 10 feet. Some of them 80, 100 feet wide. Okay. It varies immensely.
Want me to pop up and try and map us out a route then?
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
What is a very perceptive creature of the skies?
To carry someone so we could have 2 eyes on the job.
As
extra insurance, 2 heads and all that. Probably not my head, as it's.
But everyone's so big. Who are they going to pick up?
I'd say as certain large animals, you'd be able to carry someone very slowly, but carry them somewhat no problem.
I would have gone for owl.
I guess a giant eagle could carry someone.
Yeah, giant
strength. Or 16.
Yeah, I believe 18. I might be wrong.
I might turn to a vulture.
Giant vulture.
That's a bit more deserty, isn't it?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, I'll turn into a giant vulture, please, Ben.
giant vulture, as you just spin your form, the sand swirls around you, and suddenly appearing before you is not the Loxodon you, but a giant vulture.
Who's I was gonna say who's riding me. That sounds wrong. Who's coming up with me? I send vulture, so all you hear are just screeches.
Who's the lightest?
It's almost just like a screech and like a.
Who's the lightest?
Sorry.
That's a very sensitive question.
The lightest. I think that depends on a couple of things. That depends on, I would say, like strength, and I guess character height and stuff. Because obviously, muscle mass and stuff like that, but also just general. You're all like medium creatures. I'd say a giant vulture could carry any one of you.
Yeah. So in that case, who's the most perceptive?
Yeah, who's the most perceptive?
I would probably be the most perceptive then.
Mine's
But is
4.
it perception or is it going to be?
Investigation.
I would say the check would be either perception or survival.
I've got pretty good in both.
That's an absolutely
Mine's
no from
4.
me.
Hard no from
Is that
Irvin.
hard?
Okay, cool.
Hard.
You're not great.
What would you say your skills are, Irvin? Because just haven't seen any yet. Oh, no,
Oh!
Set him on fire! Set him on fire!
I can.
Oh, you mess with the bull, you get the horn.
you can make things.
Yeah.
Like what?
Anything.
You can make
Excellent
anything.
Work on my bow.
I beg your pardon.
He's done excellent work on my bow.
The one that you immediately tossed aside when you picked up the dragon bait.
And then I did excellent work
And then
on that bow.
He's immediately improved that for me.
Fair enough. Okay.
And I made a dagger that comes back to me. Also,
It's
his
good. It's a good thing it does
doesn't-
come back because you miss a lot.
His bow doesn't
Oh,
have any
God.
arrows in it.
It's not.
Nope.
Sending her to the butchers.
Okay.
Okay, so who's going up?
Ben's like, oh, the group is arguing. How do I?
Unless Ayla's going, it sounds like it's me.
I think Beats doesn't have a good modifier in perception, but he is somehow good at perception.
This is also
I think
true.
it's you, Turtle Boy.
Okay.
Okay, as a giant vulture, you just swoosh up into the air with these massive long wings, and on the second, sort of like you go up into the air, and as you just drop, you grab Hedge just by the sort of arms with got large talons, lift him up into the air,
Oh shit.
And
let's
where
take
you
you
go?
back.
and away you go. So as you begin to travel, through the way, I would ask for an athletics check as a giant vulture to see how far you can go with the amount of time you've got as a giant vulture. It's 18 plus what?
I didn't roll that. That's an old roll.
Oh, it's an old roll.
It's 15 plus 2, I think. He's not proficient in them, and he's just got plus 2 strength.
Okay, 17. That's pretty decent. You're slowed a little bit, but I'll say it's like a little bit better than you make a pretty long journey of it. You maybe can see the next couple of 2-3 hours of your journey, and maybe a little more depending on your perception check, or survival check, either or. So then a perception or survival from you, Hedge, thankfully, without any disadvantages or anything like that.
They are both the same.
Oh, I had advantage on that roll, and I rolled 2 7s.
Lovely.
That's
12.
10 total.
You can see the maybe like the first hour you can see looking sort of some gaps where things might not be maybe the furthest you can see is like a 10-foot gap across places. There are some bits that, especially nearing the sort of edge of where this starts, near the desert, it's a little bit closer, but beyond there you're kind of struggling to have a look and see over. Like I said, it's there's lots and lots of paths towards your way. So going down into the canyons, you think, you could probably just, if we just keep going south, if we can keep going south, probably be fine, but going over the canyons, you can maybe see the first hour of your journey, and then beyond that, it's pretty tricky, especially in the, the sort of like nighttime view of it. As much as you have dark vision, it's still higher.
Ben, it says in the wild shapes thing that I retain my wisdom score. So is that actually a higher roll?
That is actually a higher roll. Yeah, you would make.
Do I keep my proficiency in wisdom or no?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. So that is actually a 15.
15. You can maybe see a little bit further. Maybe like 2 hours into your journey. But with the 17 athletics and fat, how long can you hold your thingy form?
I think it's my level halved, I think.
So about 4.
Yes.
4 hours. So you would, and you'd obviously need to spend some of that going there and some of that going back. So I'd say, you can maybe see, having a look at it, 3 to 4 hours of your journey out of about 8. You can make some semblance of areas that are a little bit thinner. Like I said, the things vary. So on some of them, it's going to be longer jumps, and occasionally you will have to try and figure your way, how to get over a 30-foot gap. But, you can see the best route you can find, essentially.
I'll back down and relay it then, I think.
Yeah. Remember, you do have some climbing gear that Greekish got you, and some other stuff like that.
How long
Don't know
have they gone for doing their flying?
They're gone for about, I don't know, how long are you gone for? Are you gone for the full 4 hours, or?
No.
I don't think we wouldn't need that, would we?
I think we're going to be limited in sort of like the amount of the pathway that we can, remember as well.
Yeah.
So I think we'd probably just be like, I don't know, maybe fly for like 10-15 minutes and be like, that looks like a good way. We angle southeast or southwest initially. That should be like give us a lot of options.
Okay. Yeah.
That sort of
thing.
generalization, rather than specifically going, okay, we're going to go over this one and then we're going to turn left and go over that one.
Yeah.
A bit more general than. Just to see if you go like 200 yards like in that way, is there just like a massive like huge thing that runs all the way around that you're not going to be able to cross, so we don't have to like backtrack and stuff like that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You think you can make it at least a couple of hours overhead without being too strained on, how far you can get over, and having to potentially use some kind of magic or something to get yourselves a little bit further. But yeah, you can relay that with the group. And what are the next steps? What path would you guys take now?
Above the canyons, I think. Towards the
head down, try and head across the canyon.
Okie dokie. Now there is one slight issue in that these ways that you're going, if you go over the top, your lizards and camel cannot jump that far. They really can't. Especially in some areas where you're having to jump, like 10 feet across. It would be particularly difficult for these creatures to make those kind of jumps. So you might have to end up leaving some of those behind.
What if I cast catapult?
You know what? What? I think it does have a way there.
That's your first issue, not the moral obligations or consequences of that.
No, whatever. If anyone wants to cast catapult and throw things over, that's perfectly fine.
But did you say we can't bring them?
If you go over the top, probably not.
Okay.
You would get maybe around like an hour in and realize, no, like some of these jumps are just way too far for any of these creatures to make it over. Especially carrying, the stuff that they're carrying and things like that. Yeah, no.
How long do we think we're going to be? Can we leave them here?
I thing is, if we
That's
head
entirely up to you.
unless we head down immediately, they're not going to be able to climb down with us. So we're basically committing to taking them as far as we can and then just leaving them to fend for themselves. Unless we head down. Oh,
How long did you fly for?
an hour?
An hour?
Yeah, probably about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I make a ladder sort of thing while they're flying about, please?
With what?
Well,
My mind.
I've got a thing that's a class thing for that lets me produce the right stuff. I think I magically create stuff.
Can you put it in the chat?
Hold on, I might have read this wrong.
At third level, you've learned to produce exactly the tool you need. With thieves' tools or artisan tools in hand, you can magically create one set of artisan's tools in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of you. Creation takes 1 hour uninterrupted work. They're the product of the magic. The tools are non-magical. So this would essentially create thieves' tools or artisan's tools. This wouldn't create like things.
Anyone got any wood? You don't just carry wood around? Oh. Okay, wow.
Got some rope. Can you make a rope ladder?
Yeah, but it's not really going to stay on the... I thought about that, but if you throw it over, it's just going to go...
Also, how
How are you going
to get to the other side?
how are you going to get a giant lizard over a rope ladder?
with a catapult?
I've only got 3 catapults.
Someone athletic can make the first jump.
80 meters.
Not 80 feet, no.
Feet.
Like, you know, like the smaller ones. We're not going to be traversing anything that's 80 feet long.
So what are you doing? Are you leaving the creatures behind, or are you keeping them and then going down into the...
Well, I suppose the question is this: will we need them to travel back? Because say if Suval, if we can contact Suval in some way and have him come, then
We might get a
Sure,
lift
he
back.
yeah, he could fly somewhere.
Yeah, he
Or-
did say he would fly you anywhere you needed to go.
Okay, so if this is like the end game of the journey, we don't really need these creatures anymore. I feel a bit bad leaving them, but
When we were in the air,
Yeah.
did it look like this plateau of cracks went all the way up to the tower, or did it look like there would be significant travel beyond the plateau?
No, went all the way up to the tower and as far as your eyes could see beyond.
Okay.
This seems like a large area that not many people get to see, considering how no one travels this far into the desert. Nothing beyond. There's basically nothing beyond here, except probably more dunes and desert beyond that, and then the ocean. Or
What's
more
everyone's
mountains.
opinion on leaving the animals?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, Irvin says it's fine.
I don't mind.
Why is this dead?
I've served their purpose. Said the druid.
Now, what did you have stored on the animals? You had several things, climbing kits and all sorts of stuff that might need to be taken by many of you guys.
Some sort of bomb? Or
I
did
believe,
someone
yes,
carry that?
you did have an explosive. I can't remember if that was on.
I've got a shatter bomb in my inventory, so I think I took it.
So do I.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did
there
we get
was-
2 shatter bombs?
Yeah,
Yeah, because they were quite fragile, so...
They were
Oh,
very...
okay. We carried them, didn't put it on the side of a stupid lizard.
All right. Then, you can take everything off the lizards and off the camel. They share a bit of a confused look with you, as if they're not quite sure why you're taking everything off them.
No.
And they give you a bit of a concerned look, but fairly easily you can sort of send them off their way. And as you guys take everything off and just start heading in a direction, they start to follow you, but then realize, oh wait, no, we're not tethered to them anymore. We don't.
I mean,
Necessary.
just being practical, do we want to
No.
take these for food?
No.
We don't need it, do we? We've got a lot of rations. Also, I've heard from a friend, bugbears are very nicely very nice when toasted.
That's it. With a bit of margarine.
Next time we'll leave you to be Turtle Soup then. Oh, I know. No, you're not him. Damn it.
You've insulted
Really
me,
good
so
at
fuck
insults.
you, an entirely other person.
Right.
It's a circle of hate.
Well, in that case, the creatures, like I said, they follow you for just a little bit before realizing, yeah, we're not tethered to these people anymore, and they start going about their own business. The large lizard finds something in the ground, and it starts like chewing at something in the ground, and the camel just sort of direction. And sadly, that is the last you will see of your mounts.
Cheers, guys. Thank you for your hard work. We'll give you a good reference for your next people.
Goodbye, lizard, you're a wanker.
The lizard just shits on the floor, literally.
You kebab.
Kebab.
It is. Can you guys say the ring?
Given your perception, the ability to foresee how far you've gone, I'd say, yeah, for the next hour or so, you guys make pretty darn good headway into, leaping over and around the plateaus. It's a little, awkward because you find you're almost sometimes backtracking on yourself to just find the areas you need to jump over and go through. But you make slow progress, but it's progress. Leaping over several of these smaller canyons. Some are 5 feet, some are 10 feet. Some are ones where you have to jump to a slightly lower ledge on the plateau and then climb up. But you guys are all somewhat experienced. But it does eventually get to a point after around an hour and a half, 2 hours in, where you do see one that is about 25 feet long. How would you effectively, if you saw something that was, a little bit further than jumping, how would you guys get around this? Because this, might happen numerous amounts of times. So how might you get around this problem?
So who wants to be thrown?
What, catapulted?
I think I'll have to do my Tales from Beyond again. And maybe I get another teleport.
Maybe? Sure.
There's got to be a way that doesn't absolutely strip us of all utility.
Well, what about if we could get one person there, we could get a rope there, and then someone on this side and someone on the other side, they can hold it, and then if one of the strongest is the last across, they can swing.
Sort of swing down, and climb up.
You do have climbing gear, which includes a harness, rope, and pitons, if that helps.
Does it look like all the canyons connect at the bottom, or is it quite dark down there?
It's very, very dark down there.
I was gonna say maybe you go down, but
by the time
probably
you
not.
travel this far, it's like 100 foot down. Maybe further. Your dark vision doesn't extend that far.
So we'd potentially
Can anyone else fly?
climbing down to climb back.
You
up
can't
again.
fly.
No, my horns
You can
don't.
fly.
Can you not craft something that helps you fly?
Yeah,
I
sadly.
haven't bought anything.
I hear leather's quite good for crafting things.
Do you?
Yeah, imagine elephant hide's quite tough and durable.
Oh, wait. Did Beats, do you still have your old armor?
Yes.
Only 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Can I have it, please?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Go on.
I would like to make a glider.
A glider.
Yes. Out of
Okay.
some crossbow bolt things and this leather armor.
Okay,
Whee!
this sounds fun, so I'm going to allow it to be it's going to be a high check
I
to
have
try and
uses.
craft it. Because
Can I help, given my knowledge of projectiles and what sort of strength they might be able to take?
Well, this isn't really project. I guess
Knowing it, like, oh, you'll need like 2 bolts there for it to be strong enough, and those sorts of things.
Fuck it, yeah.
I will offer guidance as well.
Mayhaps some inspiration might be on the cards.
Are you giving Bardic inspiration, Ryan?
Oh, yeah. I'm just going at the bongos here.
Right, if you don't pass, if you don't pass with all of this help,
So this would be a leatherworker's tools check with your all-purpose tool you can create. So you're proficient in it. So this is an intelligence plus proficiency plus 1d4 plus 1d6
With advantage.
with advantage. Like I said, this is going to be a high check to create a glider of 1.
We're gonna make a jet.
Okay, so we just have to roll intelligence with advantage, correct?
Yeah,
And then-
intelligence with advantage, and then add 4, 1d4, and 1d6.
14.
oh, that's a good thing
That's
about
14 plus 4 is 18.
And then
Roll 1d4,
D4 and a D6.
21, then a d6. 23.
Oh, okay, sorry. 23.
You make
What's
something.
What's the plus 4 for?
That's quite good.
You've made something. You think you've made something fairly sturdy. It might, increase someone's jumping distance by a little bit. Effectively what a glider does. How much you've increased it by? It's hard to say. It's certainly sturdy, and it will certainly hold someone's weight for a little while further. At the very least, it'll increase someone's jumping distance by about 5 feet.
Woohoo!
What is my jumping?
So you can jump a number of feet equal to your strength score. So your strength score is 18, so you can jump 18 feet. If you have
And
a
then
run,
I also have long limbs, so
you have long limbs.
Long limbs.
So I don't
and
have,
the
like-
attitude.
I don't have to jump onto the next one. As long as I reach the ledge.
As long as you can reach the ledge, yeah,
This sounds so
I would say.
precarious.
I would say
Then you
that
go through stuff towards me.
with this new thing that you've got, that's been crafted for you, yeah, you could probably reach a 25-foot jump and just about grab onto the ledge.
Oh. Doesn't bode well for everyone else.
So,
does it?
are you taking the rope? We're tying a rope around your waist. You're gliding between the two things, and then we're creating some sort of rope bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, this sounds flawless.
And bear in
Why
mind,
don't we?
you will have to do this for everyone that's 25 feet. Now, they are between 20 and 100 feet from here on out.
Well, some of them we could possibly get someone who actually does fly to actually fly.
Does Ayla fly?
Yeah.
You have
For a
one,
minute.
just a minute flight,
So that would only cover
That's-
us one, probably.
probably.
Well, Garvey, you can be a bird for a long time,
Yeah, like 4 hours. I've got one more left of them.
but bird's not very strong, is it? So bird's not
Giant eagle's not too bad. I don't. I'm not sure. Let me double
is a
check.
bird going to be able to hold a rope on the other side that someone's going to be able to
Well, he could,
climb across?
I would say a giant creature, obviously, just the weight alone would be obviously heavier than you guys. So, you just
A giant eagle is a large beast.
Okay.
Yeah. Any creatures larger than you, yeah, you can think. And some of you have powerful build as well. I'll allow that to give you advantage on any checks to hold a rope or pull stuff. It's pull, push, drag, and lift. So makes
So
sense.
if I jump over, and then me and Gava hold the other end of the rope, we should be able to carry it like
Well,
hold
what
it
I'm thinking is
over.
if Garva's a bird, we don't need to risk anyone jumping.
I think Beats wants to risk himself jumping though.
No, I'm alright. Yeah.
It's entirely up to you.
What I'm saying is, it would be a shame to put this master craftsmanship to waste.
Thank you.
That's all right.
I'm
And I also
trying
want to see if it
think of a
actually
method
works.
Me too.
That's going to work for longer distances.
Yeah. Well,
And we can
Because
certainly
this-
try this on the first one.
This is just one. You have maybe.
I'm thinking
like,
about going down into the canyon, but that's just such a bag of unknown, isn't it?
Well, if we can potentially find a consistent method to traverse across, then this might get us further before we have to descend, if we can get across a few of these smaller or like medium-sized ones.
Ben, can I make I mean, you can decide what check it is, but can I suggest that I make a survival check to see how long I think it would take us to get to where we want to go?
Yeah, I'd say that would be a survival check. Wait, get to where you want to go. How?
So if we did do this method of getting people across a gap,
Yeah.
like if we were to do that so many times, how many times? If I had to do a rough estimate of how many times we had to do that, how long do I think it would be before we reached our destination?
Okay. Yeah. Make a survival check. 11. Well, you can surmise that so far, assuming this glider thing works, and assuming you can jump over, well, just from where you guys are stood right now, you can't even count the amount of cracks and plateaus and things you are going to have to cross over to get there. Because obviously you're not very, you're not very tall, and you can only see a certain, distance away from you. Clearly, to get someone over would probably be about, they would have to jump, climb up, secure the rope, jump, secure the rope. Each one would take maybe about 5 minutes, then traveling to the next one, about 5 minutes again, maybe a minute if it's longer. You'd essentially be traveling at like quarter speed, even slower than that, just by, trying to find the optimum place to jump on each plateau, then using your method of using a rope, jumping over, climbing over, using a rope, jumping over, climbing over, all that sort of stuff. It's not impossible. It would just take you a long time to do this. A long, long time. And that is depending on if you found the optimum place to jump every time. Obviously, some cracks are just going to have a large gap between them on all sides. Some of them might. It's completely random. You don't know. But that's what I would say.
Does anyone like the idea of going down, or
Not unless we have to. But I also don't like the idea of falling 100 feet.
because we've got climbers' tools and
I just don't want to get lost down there. But I guess we can always try and climb out if we feel like we've lost our bearings.
yeah. I just think this, as much as it's a working plan to get over the canyons, I think it's going to take us a long time. We're probably going to have to rest in the middle of it so I can be a bird again.
We can get lost when we're down there as well.
Tricky.
So what is the...
If we take too long, we'll end up out here in the sun.
You will. Which obviously has its own problems. And obviously, in terms of like D&D, like, your character doesn't know that being out in the sun, as much as you have a lot of water and stuff, if it comes to that like extreme heat again, then either you just don't do anything, or you are jumping with exhaustion and trying all that stuff. It's entirely up to you.
That's the problem, Ben. It's up to us.
Not impossible, but
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again.
Okay, right. I think Might as well try crossing them with me as a creature taking the rope, and then go across like that. See how far we get, and if we're really struggling with that, then I think maybe consider going down.
Let's give it a couple of jumps, or half an hour to an hour's worth of attempts before we see if it's going really slowly.
He's got 4 hours worth of birdness.
Yeah.
Let's just find people up and down.
I mean, if you're a massive bird, why are we bothering with a rope? Like, if you're
might as well
turning
just take
into a
over.
bird that's big enough to carry me, why don't we do 4 hours of you just jumping people across gaps and see where that gets us?
I'd also say, as a very massive bird, as much you could hold someone on your back and on especially as a giant eagle, you could hold someone on your back and grab someone. You'd be moving very, very slowly, but you would be able to cross potentially larger gaps like that. Just in terms of knowing your strength as a druid and as as this creature, I see no reason why you wouldn't be able to carry someone on your back and that. And it almost you drop, and it would be a hell of a lot of work to pull yourself back up again, but you would be able to do it.
I think we do that then. I just keep you in rotation.
So
we'll see how far we get.
Yeah, I mean, you can lift us over, and then we'll walk to the next one. You rest as we're walking, just by flying. Yeah.
Okay. For that, then, I'm going to have you make a series of checks to see how far you can make it. So first of all, I would like Garba, you to make, I'm going to say, make it best of 3 checks, best of 3 athletics checks as a bird, as a giant eagle.
19.
19, very good, that's a pass.
16.
16, I'll say that's just a pass.
10.
Well, I'd say you are able to get people across these gaps pretty quickly. Can I get everyone else then to make a perception check and a survival check? This is to try and spot areas where you can cross, the most optimal area to cross, and also for when his abilities run out and you guys do other methods.
Can't see shit, but I also see everything.
Okay.
Oh,
You're rolling with disadvantage
I know.
for some reason.
Yeah, just take the first ones.
All right. So how's everyone sort of
I also
done?
rolled stealth.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh, that's a good roll.
So
That's a miracle.
in terms of just the perception checks, obviously there's 4 of you. I'll say, we'll see. So perception, 2 failed perception. I'll say 2 pass, so middling. Survival checks, 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 pass. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, and just a final athletics check from everyone as you're, jumping across chasms and things like that, doing all that sort of thing. Yeah.
Lord.
Athletics, please.
Do you want from me, Ben, or am I right as my...
Oh,
I'll say as well from you, from when we're out of third form, how you're getting on and doing.
11.
Okay, so we've got 1 pass,
I'm
2 pass.
I'm a big stone with legs.
Wait, how many passes?
2 passes.
Can I use Flash of Genius to add 4 onto mine?
Add 4 onto yours. What does that then make yours?
15.
15. Okay. 3 passes.
Sorry, you weren't going to pass if I added it.
No, I wasn't.
So I'll say, all in all, you guys make decent headway. You travel, obviously not as quick as you would be just traveling underneath, I'll say say you were walking as the crow flies with no obstructions or anything. This thing would take 8 hours as the crow flies, you guys in a day's work have done about 3 of that in the time you have allotted left this night, I'll say.
What sort of riddle was that?
If we were walking in a straight line, it would take us 8 hours.
Yeah.
We've made 3 hours progress.
Yeah, from an entire full day, entire full evening day, rather, of you guys doing this method.
Okay. So it's going to take us at least another day to do this.
At least another day to do this, and I'll say, can also everyone roll con saves for... no, because obviously you'd roll...
I can only be a bird for 4 hours, by the way.
You can, yeah. This is the thing. So you could get a decent... that's what's making up the majority
Okay.
of all of these checks, is the fact that you rolled really well as a bird and are able to get people across decently far. But there is sort of a point where you are obviously beginning to struggle. And you've made about 3 hours of the journey before you get to a point where you're all looking around, you're realizing, all around us, we would have to somehow travel at least 30 feet without him as a bird. Maybe even 40 feet on some sides. That is obviously a problem. And it is a problem we can get to at the beginning of the next session. Thank you all very much for joining me. If you can think of any other ways to cross these plateaus and things in the week, I'd be happy to hear them. Otherwise, we'll see what we do. We'll see what we do next week. See how we fare. If you guys end up climbing down into the canyons, and how that goes. Because obviously that's going to be a lot of fun. Having to climb down into a very dark, very terrifying canyon.
There isn't any trees in this desert, is there?
There is not. This is...
Damn it.
You really want some of that.
There might be a shrub or two here and there, but that's about it.
Animal bones would have been great crafting materials. Just saying.
Thanks for suggesting.
You're not killing those.
3 hours in.
I suggested it.
No, you suggested
Not
eating
for
it.
that purpose, yeah.
I suggested harvesting them from their resources.
No, you didn't. You said these look tasty.
You did.
The implication was food, but there are also many
You
parts.
didn't say that earlier, sorry.
Well, you're the one that wants some wood, and bones are a readily available source of wood.
Sorry, bones were a readily available source.
Also, bones are not an available source of wood. They're just an available dicks.
Pizza's got long
How'd
arms.
you like this bone ladder I made? It starts out really long with the shin bones, and then the little hand bones get.
That's how it grips at the top with the hands. So it's nice and secure.
Amazing.
Ladder safety. Make sure your ladder's secure, everyone.
We'll see how far you guys can make it next week. If you can come up with any other solutions as to how far you can sort of go. Obviously, you can try and keep going with this. I'll probably just ask for the same checks again to see how far you guys can go.
I
But
have to take a rest up here.
A
I'd
moderately
say
good suggestion.
the-
Can you just change the map, Ben? It's a silly map.
Add a tree or two.
I have a feeling like we were meant to go down.
That's what he wants.
You weren't
Don't do what he wants.
You weren't necessarily meant to do anything, but I'm very surprised you decided to go up. I'm not surprised that you tried it. I'm surprised you continued with the idea of it.
It's
So
from
Ben-
my point of view, it's going quite well.
I mean, yeah, it's going decently,
I
but you
mean,
guys have all rolled pretty well.
How much
but I'd say-
polymorph have you got, Garva?
Oh, I hadn't even considered polymorph actually.
That's a good few hours.
Yeah, I haven't taken it today,
Ah,
so that's.
I saw the tracks that are ahead of me, and I walked over them.
well.
Yeah,
Amazing.
well, sure. Yeah, we'll get to that next session. We'll stop this here as the sunlight is sort of coming up, and you guys would be taking a rest on this very, very hard stone floor, basically, in your tents, sleeping away. But yeah, have a good one. Before we go, I bought a cool T-shirt for anyone who's seen Stranger Things this week.
Hey.
Cool.
They sell them in Primark for $10. And they're quite comfy.
Oh, that took away all the majesty, Ben.
It did, yeah. But boom, Hellfire Club, bitches.